Do you find yourself thinking or observe people around you talking whether AI is good or bad?
What is this AI cloud?
It's a new form of intelligence. Incredible. We must harness it.
But is it safe?
Well, I have a better question for you, one that will actually make a difference. This is a video about AI platforms and the wiring of human brain, not to decide whether AI, especially ChatGPT, is good or bad, but to understand what it's actually doing at a neurological level. But the heart of this video is not just facts. It's about learning how to use AI so strategically that it will work for you and not instead of you.
Yes! Hooray! Let's do it!
Well, we have seen the headlines. AI is shrinking the brain, cognitive offloading, laziness. And yes, credible research does point in that direction. But serious research don't just give headlines, it gives nuance. It shows the whole story. And inside that story, there lies a better question than whether AI is good or bad. A question that actually matters more today. And that's what we are unpacking today. Researchers at MIT designed a simple but revealing experiment. They wanted to see how an AI assistant during an essay writing task affects cognitive performance. 54 participants were selected and they were divided into 3 groups. Group 1 could only use ChatGPT. Group 2 could use Google and the internet, but no AI. And Group 3, no tools at all, just their brains. Everyone was given the same task, write an essay under a time limit. And while they wrote, their brain activity was recorded in real time using EEG scans. This matters because essay writing isn't a simple task. It requires memory, attention, meaning making, arranging, formatting, conceptualizing. In other words, it's a perfect stress test for human cognition. And here's the core finding. The more help people received, the less their brains worked. Not metaphorically, literally. The differences in brain connectivity between all 3 groups was actually quite striking. The brain-only group showed the strongest neural networks, wide engagement across memory, reasoning, and attention. The search engine group was still active, but less so. And the ChatGPT group, they showed the weakest brain activity of all. Their brains were quieter, under-engaged. This is what psychology calls cognitive offloading, when the brain hands an effortful task to an external system. It is quite useful in moderation and very dangerous when habitual. But the most revealing part came after the experiment when they were asked 2 questions. So far, if you're liking this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with someone you think it might help. Moving on. Question 1. Can you quote a sentence you just wrote? Most ChatGPT users, they couldn't quote a single sentence from the essay they wrote.
My brilliant essay.
Let's see it. What does it say?
Go on, dear. Wait, I don't remember this part.
It's as if they hadn't truly written an essay at all. On the other hand, the search engine group and the brain-only group had no problem quoting a sentence from their own essay. Then came the second question. How much of this essay feels like yours? ChatGPT users consistently reported low ownership. Some said it barely feels like theirs at all. In contrast, when we write an essay of our own without any assistance, the framework we build reflects our own thoughts. We have a unique style of writing and it reflects our true ideas, our way of thinking. And because we construct the meaning ourselves, we remember it. But with cognitive offloading, where does that leave us? At this point, the headlines and the influencers want you to know this. But there lies more to this experiment, and this is the real turning point. In the final session, the researchers switched the rules. People who had written without AI were allowed to use ChatGPT, and people who had relied on ChatGPT were forced to write alone. And the results were quite telling. The AI-first group didn't fully recover. Their brain activity didn't increase when they were asked to write on their own. The brain connectivity was still low, and it was like the brain was still underactive. The use of ChatGPT had a lasting effect on their brain. Their creative effort was limited. Their language was very ChatGPT-like, very mechanical. Their brains basically had adapted to doing less. But let's face it, we shouldn't be so shocked. We saw it coming. Brain when given a choice, always uses the path of least resistance. That is an evolutionary built-in mechanism to save energy. But this now is the most interesting part of all. The brain first to AI group, in other words, the people who had written the essay on their own and then were asked to use AI to write again. They showed a spike in their brain activity, stronger memory, and increased creativity. Here, AI didn't replace thinking, it reinforced it. And that flips the entire narrative. So what's the takeaway? It's not AI is bad or don't use ChatGPT. It says the timing is the key. When you know when exactly to use AI, the entire equation turns in your favor. You might actually end up being more productive and creative. Well, then why people are debating so much about it? Well, there are a lot of controversial things coming out, people misusing AI, etc. But when you zoom out, we realize that this isn't a new fear. When I studied philosophy in college, our professor told us something interesting. Socrates was a man of dialogue. He used to go around the town, get drunk, and talk to random people. Recently, I found out he wasn't a fan of books in the first place. He believed over-reliance on writing would weaken the memory and give us a false illusion of wisdom. And similar warnings have appeared time to time whenever a cognitive tool is introduced to humans. Do you see the pattern? History is full of it. Now tell me if you resonate with this. From a philosophical lens, the reality is dualistic in nature. Darkness and light, masculine and feminine, good and bad, loss and gain. Every gain comes with a loss. So throwing away the good just because the bad exists will get us nowhere. The question isn't whether we lose something. It is what we consciously choose to sacrifice. When I was writing the script, this crossed my mind, and I want you guys to tell me. I was thinking, Rushal, you use ChatGPT to refine and polish your scripts. Does that make me a hypocrite? I want you guys to tell what do you think. Well, in my defense, this is my answer. I read papers, collect data, and then I sketch a framework on the paper. Only after that I use AI to refine the language. Sometimes my language can't be that sharp and on point, and I have been told that I end up confusing people. Here, AI doesn't decide what's valuable. It can't understand my audience's needs. It can't create meaning or understand what's really important in today's world. That's my job. Humans are considered as the most intelligent species on this planet that we know of. This is because of these 4 unique qualities that we possess. Imagination, the inbuilt ability of human mind to be creative beyond limits. Metacognition, ability to think about our own thoughts. Conscience, an inner deep-rooted sense of right and wrong. And self-awareness, understanding our own values, passions, aspirations, and reactions, and how other people perceive us. When you integrate these 4 qualities, you become capable of philosophizing, empathizing, ideating, insight, and intuitive thinking. Basically, the essence of conceptual thinking. And AI can't do that. Revolutionary ideas, making and feeling music, building your empire, helping humans on a psychological level. That is our job. So the real question comes here. How can we use AI to reduce unnecessary mental load so we have more mental resources to focus on things that actually matter in the long run? So when a research comes, it isn't asking you to appreciate or badmouth AI platforms. It is just informing you and making you aware of the potential pitfalls. So the paradigm changes when you stop asking whether AI is good or bad and accept that it is both. So next time, whenever you find yourself in these conversations where they're talking, debating over AI, ask this question. When and where do you use AI so it helps you build the kind of mind you actually want? And that is the real deal.